Have you ever had a situation where you're lying in bed but really struggling to fall asleep? I've been there. For years, I'd go to bed after a very long day, but only to find my mind thinking about the meeting tomorrow, the to-do list for tomorrow, or what I've said in the meeting today. I'm tired, but I couldn't switch off. However, a simple 5-minute ritual backed by neuroscience helped me find the off switch for my brain. It's not a fancy meditation app or a complicated sleep hack. It's something far simpler. Today, we are going to break down exactly what it is, why it works so well, and how you can start doing it tonight. Let's start with the story. There was a period, especially the early days of applying to medical school, where my sleep was a mess. I'd be so mentally exhausted, but the second my head hit the pillow, it was like someone had fired a starting pistol. My thoughts would just race. I'd be mentally reciting GMC's good medical practice, remembering market update that I need to do, worrying about getting work shadowing. It is endless. I feel like I was trying to sleep with a browser that has 20 different apps open. Each tab was an unfinished task, an unresolved worry, a random idea. In my brain, the computer was struggling to run all of them at once, overheating and preventing the system from shutting down. And I know that I have to find a solution. That's when I stumbled upon the research, and it completely changed my perspective on pre-sleep anxiety. They brought participants into a sleep lab, split them into two groups. One group was asked to spend 5 minutes writing down everything they needed to do in the future, a to-do list. The other group was asked to write about everything they had already accomplished that day. The results were striking. The group that wrote the future-oriented to-do list fell asleep significantly faster than the group that journaled about the past. The act of downloading all those pending tasks onto paper was like giving their brain permission to stop actively holding on to them. It provided a sense of cognitive closure. This was the scientific validation I was looking for, a real, measurable neurological proof for a simple habit. What's actually happening in your brain during those 5 minutes that made such a huge difference? It boils down to 3 key mechanisms. Number 1, cognitive offloading. Your brain's prefrontal cortex is like your mental workspace. It's like RAM. This is the part of the brain that is responsible for executive functions, planning, problem solving, and holding information in your short-term memory. When you're trying to remember to do something tomorrow, you're essentially placing a sticky note on that mental workspace. The problem is, as your day goes on, those sticky notes pile up. You need to buy milk, you need to call your mom, you need to finish a report you promised your boss you would finish by the end of today. This is known as the Zeigarnik effect, the psychological principle that unfinished tasks tend to stay active in our memory more than completed ones. They create cognitive tension, a subtle but constant background hum of anxiety. Writing is the ultimate act of cognitive offloading. You're externalizing your thoughts. You're taking those mental sticky notes and moving them onto a physical or digital page that you can trust. You're transferring data from your fragile, limited short-term RAM to a permanent, reliable hardware on the piece of to-do list, on the piece of paper. Once your brain trusts that the information is safely stored elsewhere, it feels free to let go. Second is to switch off the planning machine. Sleep requires a reduced activity of the executive control network in your brain. You need to power down that planning, worry, problem-solving machine of yours. Racing thoughts are a sign that this machine is still running at full capacity. A calming, routine-oriented writing ritual signals to your brain that the workday is over. The repetitive, focused nature of writing, as opposed to scrolling on your phone, which bombards you with new stimuli to process, helps to calm neuronal activity. It's like gently coaxing your brain into standby mode, allowing the part of your brain that regulates sleep to take over. The science shows that activities like this reduce beta waves, which is associated with active thinking, and encourage alpha waves, which is associated with relaxed wakefulness. Thirdly, is psychological closure. There's a big psychological difference between a task that is swirling around in your head and a task that has been captured. The act of writing something down gives it a sense of definition and order and moves it from the abstract, anxiety inducing realm of stuff I have to do to the concrete, manageable realm of a list of items. And this creates a sense of closure. You haven't completed the task, but you've completed the step of remembering to do it. You've made a plan, however basic. Your brain interprets this as progress. It's the difference between having a messy, disorganized desk and taking 2 minutes to stack all the papers into a neat pile. The work is still there, but it feels organized and manageable, which dramatically reduces the urge to ruminate on it. For me, I do it about 5 to 10 minutes before I want to sleep. We can think about it like the last thing before we put our phone away and turn off the light. You can use a notebook or a notes app on your phone, a piece of scrap paper, whatever is easiest and most accessible for you. The barrier to entry must be zero. Your prompt is simply what's on my mind and what do I need to remember for tomorrow. Don't overthink it. Don't worry about grammar or structure. The goal is to capture. It might not be a magic cure for all insomnia, but it tackles one of the most common causes of sleeplessness head on: cognitive hyperarousal. And the best part is, it almost takes no time and requires no specific equipment, and it's backed by serious science. So tonight, before you go to sleep, give it a try. Take 5 minutes. Download your brain onto a page and see if you can feel your mind finally let it go. Sleep tight and see you in the next video.